This is the beginning of part 2 of the video on how to set up the HTML editor to behave differently depending on who you are. So let's create here registered user. So it's just called users. I'm just gonna rename this to registered users. Okay, and let's create a second set called, well, actually it came back to users, that's fine. So let's create a second set just for administrators this time. So let's select administrator, create. So now we have those two sets, one for administrators only, another one for general users, registered users. Now, just to exemplify what I'm talking about, or what I'm referring to having different sets of configurations, under users, I'm going to select a different skin. Just for the sake of example, I'm going to choose a black skin. So I'm going to go all the way down, click update. And if I flip to admin, it will come as default. If I flip to users, it will come as black. So if I go back here as admin and refresh this, we're going to still see our regular default editor with the same colors as it was before. But if I flip to Internet Explorer, because I'm logged in as John, and John is just a regular user, if I close this, refresh the page, and go back there to edit content, as you can see, the editor has changed colors. Now, again, I just proved my point that it's possible, depending on which user you are logged in, it's possible to see a different editor, different settings in the editor. Now, just to change the color, it's not that useful. I mean, it's just a cosmetic change. Let's say that you want to have deeper modifications to the editor, depending on which user is using the editor. So in our example, what we're going to be doing differently is that for administrators, I'm going to specify that they have up to, they are able to upload files up to 10 megabytes. And for editors, they are only able to upload files up to 1 megabyte. Let's say that, again, we want to make some restrictions depending on which type of account you have. So let's go back here to our backend. And let's go back to the HTML editor settings. Under users, which will have only a megabyte, we can set that if we scroll all the way to, let's say, image manager. We're going to restrict the amount here. So this max file size, this is actually in bytes. So for 1 megabyte, actually 1 megabyte should be this. So this is the equivalent in bytes of 1 megabyte. I'm just going to update this. And the second number will be for admin only under image manager. We're going to increase that limit to 10 megabytes. So this is the equivalent of 10 megabytes in bytes. So let's update this as well. Now, as I'm logged in here again as super user admin, if I click on insert media, and if I go to upload, now I can see that my max file size allowed is 10 megabytes. Because again, I'm super user, I'm admin. I just set up that. Now, if we flip that back to Internet Explorer, where John is logged in as a regular user, let's check the max size of his view here. So if I click on image insert media, and if I go to upload, as you can see, it has 1 megabyte of limit. So again, we have just made a specific configuration. Depending on which type of user you are, you'll have different max file allowance here. And again, you can do that for images, you can do that for any of those settings available in the user, in the, what is it called? The HTML editor here, HTML editor manager. Now let's try something a little bit more radical here. Again, lots of settings here for you to have a look at, but let's say that you want the other users to have a very basic editor there. You want to remove a few toolbars from there. Now, if you flip back here in the HTML editor manager, if you flip to toolbar configuration, you have, first of all, is that you have to be careful here. I would recommend that you create a backup of this text file of those settings outside of your site, just in case something goes wrong and you need to revert that back. But again, for admin, I wanted to have the full set of tools available. But let's say that for users, I don't even want them to upload. I want them to have just the very basic bold, italic, underline, font color, font size, but I don't want them to have any other type of option. I want their editor very, very extremely basic. So here's what we can do. Each set of tools of those, this basically means one menu bar, one toolbar. So let's just go back here for a second. You see, we have a few toolbars here. If we remove, see, the first set is for this little set here, and it goes on like that. You see that the terminology will really make sense as soon as you read that, you're gonna figure out which toolbar is that one. I'm going to eliminate from the user's configuration, I'm going to eliminate the first toolbar, insert toolbar as well. So it will delete all the managers, image manager, document manager. They will not be able to upload anything. I'm going to delete the table bar as well. I'm just gonna leave the very basic bar, which does bolding, italic, just does justifications, and I'm even gonna delete the last toolbar here as well. And even paragraphs. I'm just gonna, again, leave it very, very extremely basic. I'm just gonna update this. I'm going to the editor configuration and just leave under common settings. I'm just gonna remove this black because it's a little bit uncomfortable to the eyes. And I'm gonna just select sunset. I'm going to update this as well. And if we go back here as John, I just want to close this, refresh the page, go back there again to add it. Content. As you can see, we have a new look and we have removed all the toolbars. We just left the very basic toolbars of basic text formatting. So again, this is how via the, just go back here once again, via the HTML editor manager in .NETNuke 6, you can specify, you can remove and add features to the editor depending on what type of user you are. You want to restrict maybe your clients from adding images, from uploading files. You just want the very basic editor features there, like we just did. You can use that. So again, this was an overview of how you can use the HTML editor manager to have different sets of configurations based on, have actually multiple sets of configurations based on which type of user you are. Okay, thank you very much. That's it for now, and bye.